One of the worst things I've done this year when it comes to managing my chronic illnesses. Hey, could you do me a favor? Subscribe, and I'll see you in the comment section down below. There's a learning curve when it comes to managing chronic illnesses, I think. I started off this year with IC well managed, anxiety and depression raging out of control, PSA raging out of control, fibromyalgia raging out of control. And so my goal for this year was to get not to be chronic illness free, because I have come to terms with the fact that these are conditions that I will deal with in some way or fashion till the day that I die. I'm not going to die from them. They will not kill me, but there are things that I will have to amend the way that I live my life based on how these illnesses affect me, right? And so come to terms with that. But the goal this year was to figure out how I was going to manage them and get back to a normal state in my life. And normal for me meant being able to take care of my home. Well, one, to be happy, to take care of my home, to maintain healthy relationships, to be a wife and mother that I wanted to be, and to be able to work if I wanted to and needed to, right? At the beginning of the year, I could not do any of those things. And so that was the goal to get to. I feel like I'm almost there on a lot of these fronts. I have tripped over my own 2 feet along the way trying to get there. So I think probably the worst thing that I did this year was work 2 jobs. And I didn't do it for long. I think I worked 2 jobs for maybe like 2 months. If that long, it might have been like 6 weeks. But because I had not worked since September of last year, and I started working probably in June. I probably started working June of this year. So that's about 9 months that I did not work. And because things were so tight, I felt like it was my responsibility and my duty to like bridge that gap all by myself, right? And to do it as quickly as possible, and solve all of our financial issues before the end of the year. And so, and I thought that because the second job that I have it didn't take a whole lot of brain power to do. It just literally just took up time. It literally just took up time. That I would be able to do it and it wouldn't be a stressor. But one, it was a physical stressor. I didn't realize that it would be a physical stressor. And I think it was such a physical stressor because it was a mental stressor. Like, because it was taking up that time frame on the days where I was doing it, like there were things that I could not do, like rest and recover from the day, manage my household duties so that I didn't get behind in them. Because even though my husband is an equal partner, and I feel like he is an equitable partner because a lot of times he's not here. And so there are some things that fall on me, but like he is very much an equitable partner in the management of our home. Like there's still some stuff I got to do, right? I got to do my part, and I didn't have the time or the energy to do it because I had the second job. And mentally, it like not being able to keep up with all the other stuff really messed me up. And it took me too long to realize that everybody else, and I didn't work it that long. I didn't work the second job that long. Everybody else realized it. Whenever I said, oh, I have 2 jobs, especially the people who knew all the things I was going through, would be like, my psychiatrist, my doctor, my husband, like, you sure? 2? Okay. But they let me come to the decision on my own. It took me a month to realize and another 2 weeks to kind of finally pull the trigger and be like, look, I'm not working anymore. But yeah, that was probably, it did more harm than good. And the good was just a couple of $100 extra a month. It really, I didn't get paid enough to add that much stress to my life. But at that time I was like, any little bit helps. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Number two, I don't think I'm going to know this, but another thing that I did that hindered my progress when it comes to health-wise and mental health-wise as well, because I really feel like mental health is health, and dealing with chronic illnesses makes the connection between the two or the one and the sameness between the two so evident, because when my mental health suffers, my physical health does suffer. Like, I feel worse physically when my mental health is not tip-top shape, and vice versa. So second thing that I did that really hindered my progress toward being able to manage my health was focusing on the number on the scale. Focusing on what I weighed. And I say this all the time when I talk about my weight. Healthy bodies can maintain a healthy weight. Unhealthy bodies probably won't be a healthy weight. And that is not to say that if you're chronically ill that your BMI is going to be high, but like, it is a no-brainer if you are unhealthy physically, if your body is a unhealthy BMI. Being unhealthy physically makes it harder to like exercise, and it makes it difficult to like do the things that are conducive towards healthful living, like preparing healthy meals and all that other stuff. If you don't have the money to buy healthy pre-made meals, like making healthy meals yourself takes energy that oftentimes I just do not have to do. But on top of all of that, being unhealthy affects your metabolism. Like, I am dealing now with insulin resistance, not just because of my weight, but because of all of the medications that I take. Like, I am being watched for fatty liver disease because of the medicines I take to manage my condition. So like, me focusing on the number on the scale did not make logical sense. Like, I could not exercise at first, and even now that I can't exercise, the way that I exercise is not really conducive to rapid weight loss, if weight loss at all. And honestly and truly, what I should have been focusing on was movement to create a more healthy body, not just to lose weight, because people make weight loss and synonymous with health. If you're not healthy, weight loss is not often going to make you more healthy. Like, but being active will make you more healthy. Just moving a little bit, and it doesn't have to be a whole lot, like that will make you more healthy, even if you're not losing weight. I feel like, honestly, since I started working out, I have put on more weight. I don't know, I don't get on the scale. I don't know how much I weigh. I'm in the 260s-ish, I think. And so that is more than I weighed at the beginning of the year. I haven't put on a whole lot of weight, maybe 10 pounds since the beginning of the year. But I know for a fact that I am healthier than I was at the beginning of the year, even though I weigh more, because I am moving more. I am less stiff. My body hurts a lot less, especially getting up in the morning. I notice that I can actually, like, physically, like, me in the morning is like kind of hunched over, and I have to like work the cobwebs out. But like, I don't feel that way oftentimes in the morning. I have to get up and move. Do I just pop up out of the bed? No. But like, I have less pain throughout the day. I feel like my stamina to do like regular household things has increased, which has been really helpful. What else? Oh, my blood pressure has gone down. Like, have I gained weight? Yes. Has my blood pressure been lower since I'm being more active? Also, yes. So, like, me focusing on weight loss literally did not make sense. It did not make sense. But now that I'm focused on just, like, being active and doing the physical movement that I can do on that day, like I've noticed such a great difference in my health. Not a difference on the scale, and that's okay. Another thing that I really shot myself in the foot on was when it comes to my house. Like, it has taken me a long time to let go of the home living magazine house. It's entirely too long. I have a 9-year-old. I should have been got the fact that when you have kids in your house is not going to look like a magazine. And that is not the priority. Priority these days is cleanliness and sanitariness. It is not the aesthetic appeal of having a perfect house. And I've had to deal a lot with perfectionism, and I'll probably do a video on that. I'm still working through that myself, so maybe not just yet, but like, I had in my mind what my home should look like, and if it did not look like that, I was not a good person. Definitely to take that to counseling, but like, the idea that I, first of all, am going to be able to control what my house looks like every day when there are 2 other human beings living in this house, right, who probably have their own ideas. Macy, my baby love, she feels like clutter is love, and she likes her room, and we let her keep her room the way she likes it, but she likes to be able to see all of her toys. All of them. You know how many toys this child got? You know what her room looks like? But she likes to be, that is not my ideal of a home. My ideal of her room would be little cubbies for her toys, and all the toys that are broken that I don't think she should play with anymore be in the trash. But those are the toys that she loves the most. So we keep them, and she keeps the clutter. My husband doesn't like dishes in the sink. Like, clutter on the counter doesn't bother him at all, or like piles of clothes of laundry on the couch don't really bother him the way that they bother me. But dishes in the sink, oh, that's his thing. Like, he cannot stand it. That doesn't bother me so much as long as they're in the sink, because I feel like dishes go in the sink, right? But clutter on the counter and clothes and like, that really bothers me. So like, the idea that I was going to be able to control the way that my house looked, hold on. The idea that there were 3 different people in this house, I was going to be able to control the way that this house looked on a daily basis when sometimes I'm not even here. Like, to expect that I'd leave and come back and 2 other, like, it just made no sense for me to, and I put a lot of time and energy and effort into making sure the house, and being frustrated when it, girl, ladies and gentlemen, don't do it to yourself. Like, there are, like, we have had to come to an agreement that there's going to be a little bit of mess sometimes. Like, people live here. People live here. We use the stuff that is organized into different cubbies. Like, girl, calm down. Calm down. And I think one of the this is probably the last thing I talk about that was really impactful this year, was I waited so long to get help with Macy and with caregiving with Macy, because I am her mother, and I had to learn to separate being a mother from being a caregiver. My child does not take the same amount of care that a neurotypical 9-year-old takes. She takes a lot more, right? And it will probably be that way for some time. She will need more caregiving than typical peers her age. And that is fine. The idea that because I am her mother, that is part of mothering, that caregiving is part of mothering, is erroneous. Mothering is not caregiving. Do mothers caregive? Yes. But my ability to provide all of her caregiving does not make me her mother. It is not essential to our relationship as mother and daughter. And so I've had to, one, let my husband know, there's some things you're going to have to do. And he's perfectly amenable to that. He's not, it wasn't that he refused to do those things. It was, I was like, I'm mom, I do those things. And no, like, you're a mom and you're a caregiver to a child who has special needs or disability or whatever you want to call it. I don't want to be politically incorrect, but, and so there's more care that is involved. And if you die, somebody else is going to have to do it. And you will not be any less of her mother if somebody else is doing that. You see what I'm saying? And so in ways that my husband could, he has stepped up. But my husband works. He works 60 hours a week, right? And so, and he works shift work. And so there are times, like, physically, I am unable to give her a bath every single night of the week. So he picks up on days, and Macy also has a caregiver now. She has someone who comes over a few days out of the week, and she takes care of typically caregiving. And I can just be a mom when she's here. I can just be mama. It's really nice. It's so nice that it makes me emotional. But like, being able to separate that and not feel like less of a mother is a big thing. And it's also helped my health. Honestly, like, putting that much tax on my body. That caregiver asked the other day, does your back ever stop hurting from giving her a bath? No, because she's a bigger person now. And so, like, it is taxing on your body. I work with families who have individuals with disability in their family, and I work with individuals with disability, which means I also work with the families. And it is not uncommon for us to have to find extra care for the person with disabilities because mom or dad has to have back surgery, hip replacement, knee replacement, because it is wearing on your body to be a caregiver for the length of time that parents are expected to be caregivers. Even caregivers who do caregiving for a profession don't work as many hours as parents who are also caregivers. And that's just a flaw in the system, but in our household, we had to amend it. So those are some of the worst things that I did this year that kind of shot me in the foot towards my goal of being able to manage my health, both emotionally and physically and mentally, as well as being able to manage my relationships and things when it comes to dealing with multiple chronic illnesses. In the comment section down below, let me know what are some things that you wish you had not done while you were trying to manage your chronic illnesses. And I'll see you in the comment section and in the next video.